first live Facebook video, which probably won't be without its technical difficulties as we're on a little bit of a learning curve.
She's not on an Apple phone, so there's going to be problems, period.
We're not going to get into Apple versus Android. We're not going there. So, where did we leave off?
Basically, we just talked about how we picked up the house from another investor. The plans, basically, we're trying to be developed with the engineer and all that kind of stuff. Engineer went to the hospital. The investor spent almost a year trying to get the plans finalized and ran out of funds during that time frame. So I picked it up from them. It was still a deal. And we went ahead and took the plans because they had just been sent to the city. The city did go ahead and approve them. So we're like, you know what? We'll just keep these plans as is.
Right.
Originally, what we'd looked at with the house was basically taking it down from a one story, taking the roof off, and then just going down a second story to it, cantilevering, which you can see a large cantilevering right there, to add some more additional square footage, as well as the second story. But we got into it and decided it's just going to be better to go ahead and tear the entire thing down to the foundation and just build up from the foundation.
Well, and I think the first time I saw it with you, you guys were in framing.
I think so. I
Right?
think so. I think framing's where you came in.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool bringing Shannon in because she has such a good eye for some different stuff. So it's one of those, we did move a few things around.
Oh, don't stop.
But it was good stuff. It was good stuff. It was all good stuff. So yeah.
So where are we at now?
We are probably, hopefully, 2 weeks away from completion right now.
That's what I want to hear.
We've got paint in. We're now basically to flooring, but before we go in, let's do this.
Okay.
Let's talk about this outside.
Okay, let's talk about it.
How many colors do you see that are this bold on houses being built right now?
So let's talk about this color.
Seriously, how many do you see like this?
This is probably the only one.
It really is.
It is. So what we're noticing, and we actually gave a lot of thought to this, a lot of the investors tend to go really safe and do blue or gray on the exteriors, and we were just tired of that. And we brought in a Sherwin-Williams specialist, and we went ahead and we had a couple of color palettes put together. And I brought the color palettes to Paul, and I said, I've got, these different palettes, what do you think? And when Julie and I talked about it, and Julie liked this color palette out of the gate, and I went, ooh, it's edgy. I don't know if we're going to find any of these guys brave enough to do this color palette. And we brought it over to Paul, and he immediately was like, that one. And I was like, no way, really? You remember that? And, and he was like, oh, absolutely, that one. I'm going to show it to my wife. I don't know how she's going to feel about it. But it worked out. And it is. It's a super bold color. And there isn't any other ones around here. But we're in West Charlotte.
Yep.
There's definitely some other bold color palettes in the area. And the nice thing about this is we went and we picked out the landscaping last week? Last week.
Yep.
The weather's just been so wet that we haven't been able to tackle the yard yet.
Right.
So, and this is an active construction site, folks.
Correct.
So, understand that it's not clean and pretty right now. It's still in the middle of, it will be, but it's still in the middle of being worked on. So there's, there's stuff inside. That's just the reality. So, but we picked out some gardenias and some Lynton roses and ornamental kale and just some really beautiful plants. So
really complement the colors and just, it's going to be a very nice house, but it's going to need somebody who's really bold to buy it.
Yeah, it's going to pop. It's totally
awesome.
I mean, it pops now, but it's going to make so much more sense, and it's really all going to come together once we get the landscaping in the ground.
It's going
Awesome. All right, well, let's head inside.
While we're walking, we can say hi to Michael. We see you watching. Hi,
Hey,
Jim Ogden. Hi, Chris.
Jimmy Ogden.
Hello, Chris. Hope Pennsylvania's treating you right.
So one of the things that we did, and I don't know if you can zoom down, I know we're still learning the stabilizer, but the guys were checking out the gel stains, and it's hard to tell now because there's dirt on them, but we actually came in and they had already taken 4 different gel stains and put them on the ground, and then we sat there and we said, well, I wonder which one, and they had marked each one at the end on what they were. And we wound up with, we're doing the antique walnut.
Yeah, antique walnut would look great in this house.
So interesting thing, so when we came in and we started talking, we were talking about the exterior and the interior color palettes. And we wound up at Floor and Decor.
Yes.
And we started looking at different tile options. And we found a really super cool tile that we thought was just, we're not seeing everybody do that. A lot of people are still doing white trim in the houses, doing the gray on the walls, and we really wanted to
add some more color in that.
Yeah.
Really, is what it boiled down to. Because I mean, I'm a rehabber as well. I do some rehabs, and I've done the gray and black. I love it. It sells.
It's safe.
It's safe. But I'm from Texas, and I like some color. We have a little bit of Spanish influence down there in Texas. And we get some colors popping. So, it's one of those, I love to have a little color pop when I build a house.
Well, what I love about you is you're not afraid to think outside the box.
No.
And you're not afraid to try something a little bit different. And
no.
I like the fact that we kind of throw ideas back and forth. And some of them stick and some of them don't.
That's exactly right.
But the fact that we are really just super open with each other and we just kind of talk it out and go, what do you think of this? And I think that'll work or that won't work. And but I think it's been a really fantastic and fun collaboration, which is the best part because it should be fun.
It really is. It's been really fun. And it's one of those, I love the old world craftsman stuff.
Yeah.
So I like to try and bring that mix in to what we're doing. For example, if you want to take a look right here.
Oh, this is super cool.
How many guys,
Told you it was an active job site.
like this?
Yeah, this is awesome. Where did you find this?
This actually came from my GC Steve, one of his buddies who owns a sawmill. This is actually wood that was logged and sawed up and everything like that. And it's been sitting out in the rain and everything like that. So it's got some aging to it, but it's got character. That's what it is. It's got character. So we're going to clean this up.
Are you going to take a little chain to it and beat it up some more?
Oh gosh, yes. So we're going to add some distressing to it and stuff like that. But this is going to be the handrail upstairs for the stairwell.
Yeah, I love this idea.
It's one of those that I can go to a Home Depot, buy some stock wood that's going to have zero character to it. Or I could do something like this that's going to have some character to it. Doesn't cost me that much more, but the look and the value to it just skyrockets because it adds just something nobody else is doing.
Well, and it gives the house, I think, a custom feel, whereas most houses, like we said, I think the thing is that a lot of the investors tend to kind of copy each other, which is why we've got the espresso flooring and the white cabinets with the gray island and the white subway tile, and you see it over and over again in the houses, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's neutral. But folks, you can do neutral and still add color.
Exactly.
And if you look at this house, there's color. I mean, there is a color on the walls, and it is a gray, a pale gray, but all the trim is in the deeper medium gray, and you'll see where the inspiration for all this came from, and it really all came from one really super cool tile, and the tile wasn't cheap. We talked about that, and it really wasn't. It wasn't in the budget. It wasn't a budget-friendly price.
No.
However, it was put in a small space so that you didn't need a lot of it.
Exactly.
But it's going to give us a pow, and it's going to give us a little pop.
Well, we're talking about look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because then it'll show off the rest of the house and where it comes from.
I think that's
Jim says, "Hi guys, looks awesome." Just hang in there, Jim. Wait till you see what's coming up.
So when they were doing the framing, we came in and we kept talking about how the bathroom was positioned, and the original floor plan basically had it that if the door was open in the bathroom downstairs, you were looking dead in at the toilet, and that's one of my absolute pet peeves because
and it makes perfect sense. It's now mine too. After you mentioned it to me, I see it now, and I hate it now.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It just makes sense to hide it. Why do you want to look at that?
So actually, you want to start there? Maybe we'll start there and work our way around.
Actually, let's do this because then it'll show up the colors in the bathroom where they are.
Okay. You're such a character.
I am.
So
Jim says he can't wait to see the tile. And hi, Meredith. Thanks for watching.
So where we're at is all right, so let me back up. So when they were doing the framing, we were walking through, and the bathroom had it so that when you open the door, you were looking dead in at the toilet. And I told Paul that I really didn't like that because if people leave the toilet seat up and the doors open, I don't like it. So we reconfigured the bathroom. Was it a half and we made it a full, or it was always a full?
It was always a full, but we moved it back just a little bit to get the toilet in, which then hit into the kitchen a little bit.
Right.
And we'd had a pantry scheduled for the kitchen.
Right.
But it was one of those that we started looking at it, and we could reconfigure it because we'd originally had an island for here, and it just didn't make sense to have the island. It was just going to be too big.
It was going to make the kitchen feel really tight. Instead, the kitchen feels really spacious now. It's a really good workspace now.
So what we did is we basically took the pantry and did away with it.
Right.
And we made a nice little wine bar with it.
Yeah.
Not that kind of thing, and then...
Well, we were able to capture extra square footage out of the plan, too, without moving any exterior walls. So there was space that was supposed to be basically behind the framing. And I questioned, is there not a way that we could go ahead and access that space, therefore adding, you know, a better price per square foot
Right.
and adding more value to the house. And so that was one of the other things that we did. So, but this is the tile on the wall here.
Yep.
And it's really different. I haven't seen anybody else doing anything like this in their builds. And those colors are all, they really actually read neutral. I mean, you've got color in there, but your colors, I mean, our gel stain on the hardwares are pulled from there. The darker medium gray color is now the trim on the window framing and on the baseboards.
It's also the subway tile in the kitchen is pulled from it as well.
Right. So, I mean, that one tile basically set us up for the entire color palette for the house. You love Butcher Block, and I love the fact that you love Butcher Block because it's different. And I know a lot of people are a fan of granite and quartz, and some like marble. I'm not a fan of marble because I feel like it's too soft of a material, and it scratches too easily, and it stains too easily. Even water will stain your marble, so I'm not a fan of that. I think it's a great idea to put, you know, it should be form follows function.
Right.
I think it's important that when you're a builder and you're putting out a product, it should be something that's tough and strong, and you can use it.
And the thing is with Butcher Block, most people are afraid, oh, it's wood, it's going to get damaged or anything like that.
Not if it's sealed.
Not if it's sealed. And the other thing is, I've already done that for you. I came in and I distressed it towards where I got dings and marks and all that, so you're not going to be afraid to work on it.
Doing it.
Oh, yeah! And if you come take a look, I mean, you'll see there's all kinds of chain markings and stuff like that we've done to where it all kind of fits together.
I mean, it's still a little bit, I mean, it's got to be cleaned up. We're not quite there yet.
But it's got
a construction site.
Exactly.
It's a construction site.
Exactly.
So show them what goes on top of that pretty tile, Paul.
The other thing is, because I have such a wood background, and I love the Butcher Block, and I wanted to do something different, because we've already got such a unique tile here, that I was looking at going, you know what, let's do this. Let's make a nice little wine area with it as well. So I did some searching around, and we found this to go with it. So what we're going to have is two of these. One right here for accessibility, and then one right there above it as well.
Right.
You can use decoration, or if you bring stuff to school, you can get the rest of them.
Right.
But it's different.
So you've got your wine bottles stored up top, and you've got your glasses stored underneath.
Oh, so the bottles can tuck in the top
Exactly.
there.
Right.
So you can put them right there, pull them
And
out.
then you hang your wine stems.
Wine stems right there.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's one of those, it goes back to fitting with this. It's got the wood look with the Butcher Block. The nice colors throughout that match. It goes back to the wood that we're using for the handrail. So it's just, it's different.
Yeah. And speaking of different, I like the fact that you did not go with stark white cabinets.
No, I don't like stark white personally.
Yeah.
It's one of those that the problem with stark white is, and I've seen this over and over again. A little bit about my background is I come from furniture background. My father builds custom-made furniture like the old 17th and 18th century style pieces.
So cool.
Which is amazing. I mean, he's got tools dated 1776 in his workshop. I mean, so I come from a very interesting background there. And what's been interesting is, over the years, I've seen different design trends where it keeps going back to the white kitchen. But what happens is, over those years, people get annoyed with the white kitchen because it stains so easily. So then they'll change the colors in the kitchen, then they'll go back into being popular again, and it goes back to the white, but then they stain, and then it's back in the same transition again, what changes colors.
Yeah.
So what I do is I kind of did an off tweak on it, where it's still in the whites that people love, but it's not going to show the dirt as bad as the whites.
Well, and it's soft, and again, it kind of pulls your lightest color in the tile. And I have to tell you, I love the oversized light gray subway tile with the variation in the finish. It's just a really, really pretty tile.
I think everything put together that we've pulled together something that's going to be timeless.
Yeah,
You know, there's enough stuff here from the old world and new world that as times change, it will still stand the test of time with the design, I think.
So it's not, you know, it's not fad. It's fashion. It's not trendy. It's timeless. But it's still funky and it's cool. I mean, and I think that shows in your lighting choices.
Exactly.
You know. So.
Ernie says, great tile accent, and hello to Ken. We see you watching. Thanks for tuning in.
Yay.
Awesome. So,
So let's go to the bathroom now. So now we've seen the tile that brings us all together. Oh boy, yes. We are in construction.
We're definitely in construction. We will squeeze on here. But this is the bathroom we were talking about, that initially the toilet was on this side, correct?
Yeah, it's initially going to be right
It
there.
was here. And I just feel like with the door open, I really am not a fan of that. So we wound up moving the toilet here.
We've got a nice.
Can you see it?
Let's see if we can see a little bit of that color.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's a really pretty gray.
Yep, it's the gray. It brings
Like
back
almost
in.
with a little hint of the green.
A little bit, and it pulls right back from that color that we had there in the tile. Once
Right.
again,
Right.
playing right off of it.
And then if you go up to your tile, so we've got the classic subway tile, which is still really popular. But if you look at the decorative tile going around the border and you look at the floor pan, that's where, again, we pulled in some color, but it still really reads neutral, which is cool. Awesome. Let's head on over to, did you get a good shot of the living room and the dining room? So, oh, this is the other thing. Let's talk about the back.
You gotta see this deck.
So it's a really nice piece of property, actually. And I gotta tell you, I love the color choice. Not even, well, I love the color choices too, but I love the lighting. I think the lighting was just super fun, and you know I'm a huge fan of that.
You are super big into
So,
lighting,
I
so
know.
we had to do it right.
Yeah. So now
It's still a mess, but we are getting this cleaned up.
Right. Now when we started off with this, refresh me, because I know we talked about, do we cover the porch, do we not cover the porch, and how big the porch should be,
Right.
and
Originally, we just had a deck out here.
Right.
And the more we talked about it, the more we're like, you know what, let's just do a covered porch out here. Make it nice and good size to where the homeowner, if they really want, they can also then screen it.
Right.
So it's now set up pretty much to where somebody can come in and screen it. It's a beautiful house to look out. You got privacy in the back. It's almost your own little oasis away from the city.
Yeah.
And
I think it adds a lot of value. As an investor, I don't feel that you have to add the screening. You can let the homeowner add the screening and make it the screened-in porch, but you've already spent the money with the covered, you know.
Exactly.
With the roofing.
And we're going to be adding a fence to make the backyard private and all that kind of good stuff.
Right.
So, you know, it's going to be a really nice place to come out in the evening with your wine that you just got thrown, your wine bar.
Yes, right.
Sit out here and enjoy it.
Totally
and
cool.
then
And hang out.
hang out.
So it's a really nice size space. I like the fact that it's obviously an open floor plan, which you know is really important to today's home buyer. That's huge. And I know we talked about, do we do a fireplace? Do we not do a fireplace? Where would we put it? And what was the square footage on the first level? Do you remember?
I can't remember what the square footage is on the first level.
But our
total is 1775.
Okay. And then we've got how many bedrooms and how many baths?
We are a 4-bedroom, 3-bath.
Yeah. And it feels big.
It's huge.
It
It
does.
feels huge. The layout is really good. And in fact, my personal house is only about 100 square feet less than this one. And every time I walk into it, I feel like this house is just a monster house by comparison.
Isn't that funny?
And it's only 100 square feet more.
But it's the layout.
It's the layout.
Gotcha.
It's the layout that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And, you know, as you walk around, you'll see that we've done a lot of fits and finishes that everybody's looking for. Even down to, we've got the tankless hot water heater, we've got the high efficiency systems for the HVAC. So, I mean, you know, we're trying to make sure that everything's taken care of for the homeowner.
Right. So one of the things we talked about, and so you've got a full bedroom downstairs
Yep.
with a
Or
closet
office,
which can be
whichever.
used, yeah, exactly, as an office or a bedroom. And you've got the laundry room downstairs, which is really an incredibly large laundry room,
It is.
surprisingly.
It is.
And I know initially we had talked about doing the laundry chute upstairs.
Oh, totally.
Because we thought it would be really fun that, you know, if you had kids in the house, that they could basically throw Spider-Man down the laundry chute or the family cat. And then we decided, you know, but in the end that didn't happen.
It didn't happen. It got a little too tight where it wouldn't work upstairs.
It would have been snug.
Exactly. Like right now, you'd be standing almost to make it work. We would have had to have taken this much out, and it would have brought when it come up the landing. It just would have been
a little
too tight.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you know, I wanted to put some more money in the budget to other places, so it just kind of got shifted out.
Yeah.
But we're different. We're trying to make things different.
Right.
Even
And I love this upstairs. I love that you went ahead and rounded this. Everybody does everything square. And I love this. I can't even wait to see that distressed wood banister
Exactly.
on the top. That's
That
gonna
wood that we
look
were holding
amazing.
earlier is going to go right here.
Yep.
And notice, once again, we have the old world look, but with a nice, you know, modern feel to it. So I think we're going to complement each other really well.
Super cool. And then, and then the thing is, you've got lights like this, which are not as expensive,
Right.
which allowed you to save some money in the budget
Exactly.
to do lighting like that,
Exactly.
which was more of a big ticket item, but it's more of your wow factor where you really need to put the money.
And, you know, it's one of those that, stuff like that, the homeowner can come and do their own thing if they necessarily want to change it out.
Sure.
But it gets the lighting done, and it causes us to do better product.
Yeah, no, I love it. You know I love it. All right, well, I know the guys are trying
They're
to
up
clean
here
up as
working.
we're heading that way.
Yep.
So
Pardon the noise.
we'll see how that goes. So we're now in the master bedroom. Good thinking.
A little bit.
This is, oh, there's people in here too. Steve, quit sleeping. Come and say hello. This is our GC extraordinary. Steve's been awesome. I know these two have really collaborated a lot on the project.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of, hey, can we do this? How do we do that?
Yeah.
What makes sense?
Right.
What were some of the challenges on this job site? Did you guys have any theft? Because I know a lot of times people have issues with that on a job site. Crimes of opportunity.
Yeah. In the beginning, we only had one theft. The neighborhood here I thought was going to be a lot worse than it is, but it's actually not that bad of a neighborhood. So
really, really easy.
Yeah, I think we had about 45 2x4s stolen or something like that.
Somebody wanted to build
No.
their own shit.
Somebody had a little project they were
Over the weekend.
Yeah, but didn't you guys tell me something else was stolen a number of times that you had to keep replacing?
Out of a little green building out front.
Oh yeah, we have had a little bit. Oh well, we've had some toilet paper stolen out of our John several times by some locals.
Hey, listen, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah. So we have our own stash of toilet paper now. It's
Yeah.
downstairs. If anybody needs to use it,
And didn't you bring some to the person that was pilfering your stash?
No, I figured he already had enough. Because those are big rolls too. You know,
That's right.
the bigger roll. Yeah, you can't get those rolls that big in the grocery store.
Industrial. Great.
Anyway, yeah, we haven't really had that much theft here, which has been great. I've had worse theft on other jobs, so this has been relatively light.
And what were some of the challenges on this one?
One of the big challenges that we had in the beginning was the existing house. This house was originally designed as a second-story addition to be added on to what was here, but once we got into the meat of it, there wasn't much here to work with. Even the foundation needed a lot of work, so we had to get up under the house and put a lot of pier placement under there. We got an engineer over here to design structural stuff that had load-bearing points in certain areas, so that was good. It did change the height of the house a little bit, but the main thing was the foundation, which was a little bit of a challenge, but we overcame it. So.
And the thing is, this house is not going anywhere by any means.
Oh,
I don't think I've seen as many LVLs in a house this size as what we have in this house.
Yeah, we did have a lot of LVLs in the open floor space. There's a huge LVL that spans that entire room.
Is that one, the quad LVL?
It was the quad LVL, yeah. And it's,
4 LVLs put together. So I mean, the center of this house, the beam is something like this thick.
There's
So
a beam.
it's not going anywhere.
So I'm going to ask, why? Why? Because I can't have been cheap. Why would you have done that?
well, it was originally again because of the foundation of this house
Okay.
that we were working with. We were working with an existing foundation that was built in the 50s or the 60s,
Right.
and footers and inspectors and all that fun stuff back then was not the same.
Much more
6-inch footers back in the day.
Which is what we're doing now. So we had to actually do it right and bring up the code.
Come back and undermine certain corners and add depth and concrete and stuff like that. So it was more of a challenge than that. When you build from fresh ground, you can already
Right.
get all that stuff worked out.
Which goes back to the fact of me buying the house from another investor with a plan in place.
Right.
Right.
You inherited.
I inherited,
Right.
but we fixed all their problems.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's one of those if I had done it myself from the get-go, it would have been slightly different. Still the same product at the end, it just would have been a different path to get there.
Right.
But, we've done it. We
Yeah.
walked the path, and it's a great product.
Yeah, it is a great product.
And what I love about
We're
Steve,
happy with it.
I got to brag about Steve here real quick. Steve is awesome. I've worked with a lot of different GCs and different people, and nobody's ever really totally caught my vision.
Any other builders, close your ears right now.
Exactly. Now,
Steve is off the market.
he has caught my vision. As y'all can see, like with the hand railing, the different stuff, he has understood from the get-go the things that I've been looking for. He's the one that actually found the wood. I described what I was needing.
Yeah.
He knew it and knew exactly what it was. He understood from the get-go, because you have a little bit of a furniture background and some of that kind of thing too from what you've done.
Yeah, I used to go cabinets, so.
You know, so you got some basic concepts of where I'm coming from with my furniture and old world mentality.
Right.
You know, exactly. And then trying to bring that into this, but, you know, in a modern, cool way.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's been one of those of trying to find a GC or working with different people who have never quite totally caught the vision. And Steve has caught it and just run with it.
Yeah.
That's
But,
great.
You know, hats off to you, man, on that. That's been really good.
I think that's been one of the most fun things is watching watching you two collaborate and being able to chime in here and there and throw in some ideas and say, hey, what do y'all think of this? What do you think
That's
of that?
been a lot of fun.
It has been, right?
Yeah, I think when Paul and I first got together, we went around. I showed him some projects that we had done in the past, and some different,
Some very high-end stuff.
some high-end stuff, and then some stuff that was more on par with this, and then some other stuff that was craftsman style. I'm into the craftsman style stuff, and I love Paul's new farmhouse craftsman modern approach.
Oh, we're about to get a whole new box. Oh, it's going to be something else. That's the next project. It's going to be something else.
So Christina Ann is saying hi to you, Shannon and Paul, and thanks Jason, thanks Phil, thanks Jim Healy, and Lisa Marie. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, be sure and ask. Now's your chance.
Absolutely.
I need to call Christina.
You've got a builder investor right here, and you've got a GC. So if you guys have questions, utilize them. That's what they're here for. It's like our own version of this old house, but we're like this new house.
Exactly.
Speaking of old houses, should we look in the master?
Yeah. Let's take a look at this here now.
Let's do that. Are you sticking around? Or are you going back into okay? Cool.
Well, I'm here. I'm just helping clean it up.
I know. So I'll pop back here.
Anyway, we got that done yesterday, so that's gonna help with the glass. I gotta call Chauncey right now. So
Nice. So,
Yes, come on
let's
in.
talk about this. I know we had a couple different thoughts and ideas as we were progressing on this. We talked about, how the glass was going to get put in, and should we do niches and make sure we have niches so that you have places for shampoo bottles and all that good stuff. And this was a fun tile too.
It was a fun tile. It was not a cheap tile, but it was a fun tile. But it wasn't that much of it that we needed.
Right.
And so many of the borders, they are real narrow.
Yeah.
And I wanted something that was bold.
It's a beautiful.
And it's a beautiful, bold tile. It was, what was it, almost a 14 by 14 tile piece, something like that. We basically used the entire section of it.
Well, and really, it mimics the design of the tile downstairs, which was the other thing. So there was actually a lot of thought that went into these choices. I know maybe sometimes people think, you just kind of pick anything off the shelf, but there was actually a lot of thought put into what was going to go where. And again, this, like you said, was not a cheap tile, but it was something that we felt would give us a really nice wow factor, but it was in a small enough place that it wasn't a budget buster.
No, and that's just exactly what it boils down to.
So.
And we'll have the nice glass that'll come here with the door, and then the glass wall right here. So it's going to be really nice when it's done.
I mean, this is roomy. This is,
It's a good sized shower.
yeah.
And the tub is huge.
The tub is huge.
Really nice and deep.
It's like one of those sports tubs that you see the players for the Panthers and stuff getting in at the end of the game.
Maybe we'll get a Panthers bottle.
Maybe. And then you can also line your little candles up when you're taking your bath. I mean,
We're not far from the stadium.
You can have it all.
And I like the fact that you went with a dark base on your vanity. Because again, people have been doing a lot of the gray and the white, and that was not what we went with here. So I like it. It's different.
So once everything gets cleaned up, we'll be able to come back through and do another one of these.
Yeah, she'll be pretty. And I love the interior doors, by the way, too. I like the detailing on them.
Color.
And the color.
There was a couple.
Did you just massage the door?
I did. It feels so good.
You're getting lots of hearts on that one.
This is a typical Friday. So Fridays we go out and we do our job site walks, right? So you guys have seen this on a number of Fridays, and that is very typical of a typical Friday meeting for us.
If I'm not having fun, I ain't here. That's the way it boils down to it.
Life's too short. Life's too short. Let's have fun. Let's make money.
Exactly. That's
Oh,
exactly
yeah.
right.
All right. Should we go look at the rest?
Let's go look at the rest. Let's go look at another bathroom.
And you did hardwoods upstairs and down.
Exactly. There is not a single lick of carpet in this entire house.
Right.
That is not common. I mean, you see a lot of builders who are putting carpet in the master.
Yeah.
And with the size of this house, I was able to get away with going ahead and doing hardwoods because it was just only a few bucks more to do it. So I went ahead and did it.
Well, and the fact of the matter is, as a realtor, and you know, for me, the niche, I mean, I work with retail buyers and sellers, but I also work with a lot of investors and a lot of rehabbers and new build guys. And when we do the listing, you know, we get the feedback. And so we're hearing what buyers are looking for. And there's been feedback on the listings where they're like, well, can't you rip out the carpet and put in hardwoods upstairs? And I don't think buyers understand what an expense that is.
Right.
What an upgrade that is to go from carpet to hardwood. And so if you, if you can do it and your price point makes sense and it's in the budget, by all means do it.
And for this one, it worked because of the size of the house. Because that's one thing is when you start getting up to a really big house, it can be a
Don't jump, Steve! Don't jump!
It just went out the window.
Literally. I need you!
Come back, Shane. Come back.
Okay, all right. We did not lose a GC. We did not lose a GC. Need a disclaimer at the end of this. No GC was lost.
That's right. Nobody was harmed during the filming of this video. So we've got the other 2 bedrooms up here. They're pretty, you know, pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, and they're actually fairly good size for a 1775 square foot home.
Yeah, all the
Everything
bedrooms are a
feels good.
decent size, I have to say. And I like the fact that, again, you went ahead and you were a little bit, in some ways you were neutral, like in this one you did the classic subway tile, which is neutral, but then you did this fantastic little pop of color with the vanity. And I haven't seen anybody really doing, that's actually the first time I've seen that color.
It's a wonderful color. I love that color of vanity. You know, it's just one of those that it's simple. You know, we got the nice, like you were saying, the classic look. It's all classic. It's all timeless in here.
Right.
You know, dark grout so you're not going to get all the soap scum look and that kind of thing. So it's going to stay cleaner, look better, longer.
Right.
But I like color. So
well, and it goes back to the tile downstairs in the bathroom downstairs in that border.
Exactly.
So we've cross-pollinated, which you see a lot of with interior design, where, you know, if it's the main color in one room, you use it as the pop-up color in another room. So it's very, the whole house I think feels very fluid and it feels very pulled together. So I can't wait for you to get this one done and staged.
Oh no.
So when is it going to go on the market?
Wait, Steve, when are we going to go on the market?
Couple weeks or something.
Or something?
We're trying.
That's a typical GC,
That's a GC answer there.
I'm getting a new whip made right now. My other one, I cracked it to death.
So yeah, we're looking at a few weeks out. I think we're looking at getting. Is Christina still on there?
I need her.
Yeah, I know he's planning on calling Christina to do the staging, and that's going to be probably we're aiming for the 20th.
Yeah, Christina, she's done all my houses, and man,
and I know you rave about her.
Oh gosh.
See, she should have stayed on.
Oh my god.
So there's that, and then so hopefully Tuesday staging, Wednesday pictures, Thursday live. I like to do my listings live on Thursday so I can capture all that weekend traffic. And with Thursday, it takes sometimes 24 hours to roll out to the other websites, so it gives it time so that anybody who's doing their searches can catch it. So
if people have questions and they want to find out more about this property or others, how can they reach you, Shannon?
they can reach me at shannonlynchhomes.com if you want to check out the website. On obviously this Facebook page, there's going to be updates on this. I've also been posting progress pictures on my Instagram account, right? Yep. And my phone number is 704-771-9200, which should be somewhere on my Facebook page, somewhere. I don't know where to point, somewhere around there. But yeah, if you look, I guess in the About section, you can find my phone number on there. Or you can reach me at smlynch1122@gmail.com, or you can just call Savvy, and we'd be happy to give you a showing of the home. But right now, we kind of would like to get it cleaned up a little bit more, I think, before we get anybody walking the site.
But it's not much longer. It's very soon.
Nope, it's coming. So I think that's all we have for now. You have anything else you want to add?
I think we've covered everything.
I think we actually did.
Star Wars trivia.
Do we have Star Wars trivia?
Oh, I just read a new one today.
Did you?
Yeah, the new Han Solo movie. Did you see who they actually brought in to do prepping for Han Solo? Mm-mm. They actually got Harrison Ford.
Wow.
Now?
I was reading
Wow.
about that.
Really?
They actually prepped the character. He had a conversation with Harrison. Harrison walked him through his thoughts on the young Han. Is what I was reading
how cool
today.
is that? See, now that makes me want to go see it.
I was kind of skeptical, but that made me kind of go, okay, I might want to go see that one.
Very
I
cool.
need to put those old Star Wars figures online and see.
They're worth a fortune. You know, I actually was watching the TV show recently, and they said the Boba Fett that actually launched the little rocket thing
Oh,
is
yeah.
worth a small fortune because they only made a handful of them because then they were concerned about choking hazards. But if you have one of those Boba Fetts with a little launcher that the rocket
old
actually
school
launches,
from the 70s.
they're
I have-
worth a fortune.
I have the Boba Fett that you sent away the proof of purchase to Kenner and got in the late 70s.
Oh,
Boba Fett wasn't even available. That was
yeah.
the very first one that you could get, and he wasn't available with the rest of the figures. You had to
Wow.
All
actually
right, so if
send 5
anybody's in
proof
the
of purchases.
market for a Boba Fett, contact me and I'll put you in touch with Steve. All right, we're going to sign off now, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in.